GM.
GMGA.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Darlington, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Amazing. I'm just going to give people another minute to file in here. Normally the crowd picks up a little bit after that.
Cool. Are we able to edit the title still of the stream?
Sure, yeah, man. What do you want to change?
Yeah, can we get Relics all capitalized and then lower the lowercase c on Monstercat?
Yes, you got it.
Thank you. By the way, well done on creating this this whole setup you've got going with the Relics and
thank you. Yeah, hey, I wanted to put our best foot forward for this, and
I was trying to figure out which asset pack did I give you, and I'm like, I don't think I gave him anything. I think he made this himself.
On the fly.
I'm great at using the magic eraser on Photoshop. Fortunately,
yeah,
it had a nice
job.
clean white background for me to grab out there. But yeah, no, it looks happy with how it turns out. I appreciate that.
I know we keep you around for a reason.
Yes. Job secured for one more day. All right. You ready to get this going?
I'm ready to get go. Is there a link to the Twitch as well, just so I can?
Yeah, Twitch. We could do Twitch too. Did you get the YouTube link?
I haven't got any of the links yet.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
Is this multi-stream to multi-channel?
Yeah. So it's going on Twitch and YouTube.
Cool.
So I will put the YouTube link in the group chat on Discord if you still have that open. Let me grab Twitch for you right now.
What a great tool. I love it.
Yeah, this thing takes care of all of the, the hot stove kind of thing. You can just flip things around, pull the screen up, all that good stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, makes my life easy. I appreciate you joining me on camera, too. Normally, I'm the only one here staring at it.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to talking to Free Market's Kaiju, so... Yeah.
We're an NFT show. People don't want to see my face. They want to see my NFTs. Kaiju
well, if they knew what your face looked like, you'd be doubly right.
Ooh, man. Well, now that we've just eviscerated both of ourselves on the show.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. I love you. Cool, man. This is good. Did you you get it tweeted out and everything? Or are you?
I tweeted mine. We got the Twitch and the YouTube link. I'm actually pinging Jake right now. He wants to hop in, and then, yeah, we can go.
He's going to jump into Restream, too?
No, I don't think so. Nice try, though. No, yeah, let's get it going. R2.
All right, nice drum roll here, and going along with it, Darlington. GM, everybody, and welcome back to the Alphamint stage. I am your host, R2DGen. Joined with me, as always, my co-host, Free Market Capitalist, and we have an amazing guest here for you this afternoon, Darlington. And if you don't know, Darlington is the CEO of Monstercat. And Monstercat's a pretty incredible company. If you've watched any amount of Twitch, you've probably seen streamers using their product. It is a DMCA-free subscription service that streamers can use to broadcast to Twitch, broadcast to YouTube, and they don't get flagged for any copyright issues and all of that fun stuff that we'll fight with on a day-to-day basis. We've even mentioned it here on our own show before. But Darlington, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I've got that pre-launch jitters that you get, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling confident. It seems like the excitement's there. The community is real. I'm stoked to get it out.
Yeah. So pre-launch jitters. You've got a project that's dropping, NFT music NFT project. So I like to think that you've kind of changed the way music works in the internet space. Once you're trying to do it again on Web3. Let's talk about what you've got going on this afternoon.
Yeah, so this afternoon is the pre-sale for the launch of our Relics project. It's actually in 1 hour's time. The pre-sale begins on Nifty Gateway. Then the Relics mint will occur probably next week. We haven't locked in the exact date yet. So if you go to Nifty Gateway right now, you can pull it up on the screen and click on curated, and it should be right there, the Monstercat drop. There we go.
Yep, found it.
Perfect. So we've got that happening right now. But before we talk about the actual, drop, it's like the function, the structure, any of that stuff, I should probably explain what this is.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so RELICS is a project that kind of came out of a necessity in the early, the early COVID impact, the early time in their COVID journey, I guess you could say. So September of 2020, I started like getting phone calls, and I started to realize that the artist roster was actually impacted significantly more than I realized. I knew that they had lost revenue. I was well aware of that, but I didn't realize how it was affecting like their team, their tour managers, their apparel sales, deals were falling through. It was just all these other factors that I didn't clue into immediately. So because of that, I was like, all right, as a record label, we do our job. We market music, we distribute music. But, is there anything we can do to kind of help, augment what occurred from the loss of their tour revenue? That was the whole thought process. It was entirely financial at that date and time. So I started looking out there, looking at different projects. We tried online festivals. We tried digital apparel and video games. We tried like a lot of different smaller initiatives. And unfortunately, they just didn't feel like they were going to make up for the impact that touring had made. Fortunately, I knew Justin Blau, and I saw him tweeting about what he was doing with NFTs. I'm like, okay, this has got to be something. This is like, God's gift. I'm seeing somebody talk about music and generating tens of thousands of dollars for a musician. I'm like, this is exactly what I needed right now. So I reached out to him, and he onboarded me quickly to Nifty Gateway. I fell in love with NFTs. My first ever NFTs I collected were Beeple's Genesis piece and Slime Sunday's Genesis piece. So I got really, really fortunate. My first two pieces crushed. I got very lucky.
I'd say, holy.
Yeah, so got lucky on that part, and that enabled me to really like continue to learn and develop within the ecosystem. And at first, I understood what digital art could be for the NFTs ecosystem, but I didn't really understand what music could be for it yet. And during that time, we also dabbled with doing some music NFT projects with Monstercat. We were pairing up some of the larger visual artists and some of the larger musicians we worked with, and they went well. But the reality was it was kind of like another flash in the pan. It was only really supporting the top musicians, the top visual artists. Like I needed a solution that benefited, our entire roster. And that's what kind of led to the realization around RELICS. Now, again, when RELICS was first, we first started digging. I first started digging because I needed to solve a problem around artist sustainability. But what I started to learn as I was doing that digging is that Web3 goes so much deeper about creating new revenue for artists. We started going into what we could be doing in terms of building new forms of community. Sorry about that. New forms of community. We started building new ways to interact and engage and bring people into the world that they might not normally see in an artist career. So that all started to become very apparent right off the bat, and that's when the fireworks started going off. Like, oh my god, I think we finally have something here that could really affect artistry, really affect musicians, and hopefully change the entire career path for them. Yeah, so that's kind of the backstory to how we got to the beginning of RELICS.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, Free Market and I have talked about 2022 being one of our, music being one of the big game changers for NFTs. And, conversely, NFTs, being a game. Oh, my God. Did I just drop?
Well, he may be having
you're still here.
Technical issues. But basically, we're seeing music NFTs is one of the big trends coming this year, and it really hasn't been done with care up until this point. I'd say a lot of the projects we've seen up until now were rushed together, or they were maybe more of a cash grab type of thing, or not well thought out. I think that with music being almost a digital native art form, that it speaks to NFTs. This is something that I think is completely lacking in the space and is going to grow huge this year.
Sorry, I don't know if I just dropped or if I was on the whole time, but my computer was acting something strange. So I apologize for that.
I think you might have lagged a bit, but we heard what you were saying.
Hopefully I didn't curse out loud or anything.
No. We're seeing the same thing. Art NFTs had their moment, and they're still having the moment. I don't even think it's called a moment. It's just massive momentum. Photography now is having massive momentum. You know, it just made sense that music was kind of next up. It's ready for its time in the spotlight, and you know, we're ready to create an ecosystem that can make music collectible, but also utilize like all the crazy technology that exists in NFTs.
And that's really it, right? I think that the technology here allows, you know, access to musicians in a way that we just never had before. And I would say that beyond maybe the music itself, that is a musician's most valuable resource, is access. We know fans want to know about their hobbies. We know fans want to attend their concerts. They want to buy their merch. And what better way to, I mean, this is a crude way to put it, but almost create a fan club or a membership club through NFTs. You know, even we thought about this the other day. A musician could sell out the first 2 rows of their concert for life. And then that's an NFT, and that NFT could be rented out. So you as the owner could rent out the front row seat of a concert. There's so much potential here in the music industry. And it's just very nice to see RELICS kind of moving it forward versus the ones that were keeping us in place, I guess.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know, the way I look at this is this tech is so flexible that what you described around selling the front stage of the shows, I think that's like scratching the surface. You know, if a fan collected from an artist, the artist has all the potential in the world to provide any amount of utility that they can. It's you're creating this new connection that never really existed before. You know, unfortunately, I don't know who the faces are behind the billions of streams we get at Monstercat, but I do know the couple hundred people who have like purchased our Genesis Idol, for example. That's a level of connection that you just don't get in any other way. You know,
go ahead.
Would be really interesting, R2D Gen, is there's a video on the RELICS Twitter on dynamic rarity. And I'd love it at one point you could play that for everybody. And because we're talking about what you can do with technology. This is like prime example of what innovative technology can look like.
Yeah, for sure. Why don't you talk about dynamic rarity while I figure that or find that video on Twitter there. And I know that you've got a really interesting a setup going with, you know, the success of the song or the track or the NFT, and it'll kind of morph the NFT's rarity as it grows in popularity, which I find incredible.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, guys, RELICS are audiovisual music collectibles. You get a full length song. That's, you know, each song will have a edition count. Right now for season 1, there are only 30 editions each. So it's important to discuss how rarity can be done in this project, because it can't work the way most collectible projects work. You got to do it in a new format. If you Apple F like rarity, it should come up, or dynamic, one of those two. So guys, we had to find a new way to do rarity. And this is what this video is about to show you.
Yeah, for sure. Do you want to just keep I can't feed sound in.
Okay, you can't feed audio.
Twitter.
Perfect. Yeah. So as you guys can see, the rarity of the actual song NFTs increases dynamically, depending upon how well the song is performing in the real world. Meaning, like, every single month we get all the stream data, all the radio play data, all of the revenue data, and we can take all that data and put it into an algorithm and pump out when a song or a relic has reached a certain achievement. And when it's reached that achievement, the gemstone rarity will increase. So this is something we're really excited about. As you can see right now on the screen, this is the distribution for season 1 on drop date. So I think it's 64% are quartz, and what is it? 22% emerald, 10% sapphire, 4% ruby, and zero onyx. Now, that will change. Say we do a metadata update in a month from now or 3 months from now, and we have all the new data that's come in from the songs. Maybe quartz has dropped down to 60, maybe emerald's up to 23, maybe sapphire's up to 11, and ruby's up to 5. Like the rarities will adjust as the songs do better. So basically, as a fan, you get to take a bet on an artist. You can be like, yo, I know his song was like, it was just starting to come out. It was still a quartz. However, I really believe in that artist. I really believe in this song. In a year's time, maybe it's a sapphire or a ruby based on like that bet you made.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Profound to me. I mean, just picture going back in time and just you had one of the most famous artists. They release a song in this type of format, and you actually own this hit song. I mean, I feel like digital ownership didn't make as much sense to older generations, but for millennials and Gen Z, this digital ownership is incredible. And the idea that you could actually own the next hit song, I mean, this is incredible. I love this dynamic rarity thing.
Well, I should make sure that I'm very like specific in the verbiage here, because I want to make sure people understand. You will own the collectible that's associated to that song.
Mm-hmm.
We are not a project that does like Royal, which is selling the master rights ownership.
Yeah.
This collectible represents the song itself. The way that we're able to do dynamic rarity is because as a record label, we're able to work with the music. A record would never go from quartz to emerald, emerald to sapphire, sapphire to ruby if you didn't have a record label pushing it. That's generally what creates the momentum, gets it blowing up on TikTok. You know how it goes.
Yeah. So
it's really critical that we build a system where the fans can feel like they're a part of that journey, and they can prove to their friends, when I got involved with an artist, when I took a bet on an artist. And now it's all on chain, and you can prove like I bought it in October, it had a state change in November or February the next year type of thing. Like you're able to then prove to people that you were actually early.
This is great for hipsters that are like, I like this person before they were cool, and they're like, yeah, no, you didn't. I'm like, no, I did. I can prove it on
I
chain.
can prove it
on the blockchain. It's immutable, baby. Well, okay. Let me pause this here for a second, because I wanted to let everybody know that Darlington was extremely generous in that he is giving us 5 allow spots to give away right now during the show. I tell you what I'm going to do is go set up a giveaway bot in the Alphamint Discord. R2 is going to drop a link in all the chats. I'm going to set up this bot right now and go mute. It's going to be a flash giveaway for 10 minutes. We got a hard out here in 15 minutes. So I'm going to set it for 10. We'll give those away with 5 minutes to go. And I will give you directions how to do that in a second. So thank you guys. And I'll be right back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably most people that are watching right now are in our Discord already. But if you're not, just head over to discord.gg/Alphamint, jump in there, and we will distribute some allow lists. We really appreciate you doing that, by the way.
Not a problem. I do have one piece of alpha I guess I can provide.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so the first 5,000 people that have joined our Discord, we're collecting all of the ETH addresses for, and we have a system called quests, and that'll be quest number 2 completion. And from that, there'll be an airdrop of a L2 badge, but we'll also use that list of ETH addresses for future launches we do with this project. So at the cost of 0, I do highly recommend you join the RELICS Discord, and I can send you the link to that.
Yeah. Shoot me a link over, and I'll post that up there as well, so everybody can jump in there.
I noticed it was it's something we'll put in the announcement after when this video goes up. But yeah, it's an easy win, and right now I think we're at about 3,100, so there's still space.
Yeah, I'm gonna post that in the chat as well, so everybody get in there, say hello, join that community, and get things going for them as well. So I mean, let's talk like a little bit bigger picture, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing this now. Your launch is going live in, I think, about an hour, maybe not even that long at this point. I have it pulled up here. Let's talk years from now. Like, how do you see NFTs kind of changing the face of the music industry? I mean, this is an industry that often goes through these changes. We went from CDs, and then, the MP3 era hit, and music was in disarray. You weren't making any money. Their record sales were down. And now, you got things like Spotify, Monstercat's doing amazing things for streamers and content creators. NFTs are hitting the scene. Mass adoption seems almost inevitable for them. Like, where does this go for music?
Yeah, that's an amazing question. I've been looking at this like a lot. I've been thinking a lot about this, and I think the way my brain is kind of figured it out is that there will always be a place for Web 2 for mass consumption and mass streaming consumption. Um, Web 3, though, is going to become this special place for the community building, the die-hard identification of fans, identification of super fans, providing utility to those fans. You know, that's where this Web 3 era is gonna really thrive. So it's gonna like they're gonna work together side by side. You're gonna want a musician to still blow up on Spotify and Apple Music and still, get booked at festivals, but you also want to be able to interact directly with them and feel like I'm directly a part of their community. I've invested in their NFTs. I know that I got in early. That all that thought process you have of kind of being a DJ and collector, you're going to have as well on the music side, which that's novel, and that'll create a new form of community that has never existed before for a musician. Generally, the fans for a musician, unfortunately, are faceless. There's usually so many of them.
That's right,
because to make it as a musician, you need millions and millions of streams. That's hundreds of thousands of people. It's impossible to identify who these people are. It's just nobody can do it.
Many of them will never even get to go to a concert. I mean, you really literally have that barrier in between you almost permanently too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the NFTs in general are just incredible, but I mean I've got music pegged as probably one of the biggest use cases you could possibly get that in gaming, and obviously gaming, Twitch, music all kind of go hand in hand as well. Are you thinking about any partnerships with any games, maybe any play to earn games, NFT based games, blockchain games? Is that kind of in your radar as well?
Yeah, so that's actually like probably just as important to this project as a dynamic rarity is the integration of relics into the play to earn and metaverse ecosystem. One of the ways that we're doing that is we're releasing these dynamic or these smart 3D models, which basically means we've injected code into a 3D model, and then we're providing those 3D models to our gaming and metaverse partners. Now you can see the Genesis idol down in the bottom of the screen right now. So we'd provide that to a partner. If that partner integrated into the game or into the metaverse, it would check your wallet to see which relics you hold, and it'll play the music to the people around you in the gaming environment based upon the relics that you hold. So now we're starting to bring music into gaming, which that's something we've always specialized in at Monstercat. And now we have the tools to do it in the Web3 ecosystem as well. And we can start to ask partners like, hey, we want to bring our music into your world. Instead of you paying like a large licensing fee to us, how about you provide yield to holders of the relics or holders of the idols? We can start to request, novel deals like that. There's a couple games that I play that are play to earn, and I can already see the functionality of, I would love if my armor, could play music. I'd love if I could attach songs to it or relics to it. There's just a lot of flexibility with music because that layer can fit on top of anything. You can't always throw an ape into everything, but you can put music onto anything,
Yeah, it's universal, 100%. I agree, and the interoperability is what we always talk about. And there's nothing more interoperable than music. Honestly, just between cultures, between languages, like you don't even have to speak a language that the music is written in to enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I guess the one final question, and sorry, actually, I want to just check in with Free Mark. Is that giveaway going now?
That giveaway is live. There's 2 minutes left. So hop into the general, smash the emoji. It is in the raffles room, which is in the Alphamint general area. So go smash that emoji now.
Yeah. Amazing. Last question I kind of wanted to ask. I know we're on a bit of a time constraint here, so I won't keep you much longer than that. One of the things in that we talk a lot about is that gamers kind of have a big pushback to NFTs. There seems to be some hesitancy for them to adopt it. Obviously your work with Twitch and streamers and whatnot is going to be pretty important in this. Have you seen a lot of that pushback? And what is it going to take to get over that?
I have definitely. I've seen a lot of the pushback. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of education that needs to occur. And I think it's going to be a slow, painful grind to get this into the mainstream adoption. And that's unfortunately what innovation feels like a lot of the time. You very rarely can just snap a finger and everybody's accepting of new technology. I even remember when electric cars and hybrid cars were something that seemed to be so ridiculous and that nobody wanted to have anything to do with them.
So
we've seen this happen before, and I think with NFTs, the reality is every major game studio, every major social platform, every major media company is integrating NFTs in some way or another, whether it's now or a year from now. So going on in line and getting upset about it versus like trying to understand it and being critical of the flaws, because there are flaws, but those are flaws that can be solved for. When somebody brings you a problem, you don't just throw your hands up in the air and say, I'm done and I'm going to leave. Like you actually try to deal with that problem. You try to learn from it. You try to actually fix the problem. And I think that's kind of the process that we're going through right now in NFTs.
Yeah, I find it very fascinating with kind of that grind that you mentioned that gamers had just to get gaming into like the mainstream, right? Like now you talk about esports tournaments being some of the biggest tournaments in the world in terms of monetary prize pool and viewership and all of that stuff. But it wasn't too long ago that gaming was like a cottage industry that was really kind of fighting for its time in the spotlight. And it is weird how that NFT narrative got lost on gamers too,
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying. Adoption is a long, hard grind. And I do think that we'll get there though. We're kind of in the last 5 minutes of it. What else do you want to talk about? Any important points you want to get through, get across that we didn't touch on?
The pre-sales happening in 30 minutes, guys. They are $199. There's an open raffle. Anybody can join the raffle. I don't know if you want to full screen up that
Sure,
raffle.
yeah. Let's do that.
And show the tickets. There's a collector's raffle as well if anybody holds Monstercat NFTs.
And real quick for everyone, this is Nifty Gateway. So you can use a credit card. You can load cryptocurrency on there, but this isn't open fee. This isn't a standard mint page. So just go over to Nifty Gateway. Make sure your account is set up and you're ready for the drop. And Darlington, are there any more specifics maybe about the drop or Nifty Gateway you want to tell our audience?
Yeah, they're going to need to get their account validated and attach their credit card if they want to use credit card, or they'll need to send ETH over, which takes about 5 to 10 minutes. So if you want to be ready for the drop, which is, unfortunately it's a raffle, so it goes for an hour. So really you've got 30 minutes until the raffle goes live and then an hour to enter the raffle. So you have an hour and a half from this point to get your account set up properly if you want to enter the public raffle or the Monstercat Collector's Raffle. The Monstercat Collector's Raffle are for people who hold any past Monstercat NFT. It's got, there's more tickets available for them as a kind of a thank you for, collecting in the past. But there is still a chance for anybody to win a relic today in the public raffle.
Amazing.
Well, speaking of winners, we have about 30 seconds until our contest close. So I'm going to announce that in a little bit. But yeah, I really wanted to just thank you for coming on here, Darlington. We talk about music NFTs a lot on this show. We kept saying this is the year it's going to happen, but we've kind of been screaming into the miasma until boom, here you are. And now we're super excited to have it here. I know I am going to be minting these things. Luckily, my Nifty Gateway is already set up. And now I am going to go check in. I think we have less than 1 second here, and I am going to call out the winners live. So R2, say something, and then I'll call out the winners.
Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to, again, thank you for your time. I know that you've got, this is season 1. You're going to be looking for season 2. So I hope that we can continue the dialogue and keep things going. And hopefully we can update people about what you've got coming up next. And really get our community excited about what you're bringing to the table here.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. Please send me the ETH addresses for the winners. And I look forward to continue to build with the Alphamint community. It seems like you've got something special going on here, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, bro.
Amazing.
So shout out Lemon Holder Burns, Rohan, Polinary, Bum Bum, and New York Dank. Congratulations to you all. Please DM us your addresses so I can get those over to Darlington. And there it is, RELICS by Monstercat presents RELICS by Darlington. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate you being here. And guys, that's in 30 minutes. Go get those wallets ready.
Yeah, go check it out.
Thank you so much, guys. I got to hop to Twitter Spaces, but it's been awesome.
I'm going to tune in.
Yep.